Hey guys, so in today's video I thought I'd talk about the pros and cons of living in a student kind of like dorm, like halls, versus living in a student house. They're two very different experiences I've found, and they both have their advantages and they both have their disadvantages. So it's really all about preference and what you prefer, but I hope this video will make it easier for you to come up with your own decision about where you want to be living for the next few years. So one thing I really liked about living in halls, and I actually miss the most about living in halls, is the fact that you're so close to everything. A lot of unis, I know specifically Bournemouth Uni, put the halls in such a convenient place, which means like it's a 5-minute walk to the shops, it's a 5-minute walk to the gym, 5-minute walk to the club. Everything you could ever need to go to is within at least I'm gonna say 20-minute walk max. And I miss that conveniency, because when you move to living in a house, it does get a little bit more tricky to get to places and you have to get buses and taxis more often. Halls are also a really great way to meet people. Firstly, you're living in a building with people probably all in the same year group as you, like in Bailey Point at Bournemouth. That's just for first years, so everyone in that building is in exactly the same boat as you. So it's a very nice way and easy way to make friends. And the halls at Bournemouth, Res Life BU run so many events. So they did like a petting kind of zoo thing where they brought in like rabbits and dogs and giant centipedes and all kinds of like different animals that you could learn about and pet, and then you could like meet people through it. They did like a twister night, free fajitas, free pizza night. Like they do a bunch of different events, so it's a really great way to meet people. Being in halls and being close to a bunch of the other student residents means that like if you want to go to a flat party or if you want to go to prees before you go out to the clubs, it's so convenient. Most of the time it's either up or down a flight of stairs or across the road. I really don't feel safe walking around by myself at night time, but because most of the accommodation was centered around one roundabout, I felt completely safe just crossing the road and like going over to my friends. Another pro of living in halls is that all bills are included, so you don't have to worry about setting up your gas and electricity bills and all of that. Like all of that is sorted for you, which is really nice because it takes off some of the stresses. Like the most that you'll have to do in some accommodations is get a TV license. Like if you want to watch TV, that's probably the most kind of admin kind of thing that you're gonna have to do, as well as paying your rent. So it's very easy breezy. Everything is included in a nice little package and it's very convenient. Same as your bus pass as well. You don't have to worry about getting a bus pass because a lot of the accommodations offer an included bus pass in your rent. So everything is, yeah. So basically living in halls will make your life so convenient, but I really enjoy living in a house. As much as I miss living in halls, I think I prefer living in a house, and the main reason is because I think I've spoken about this in previous videos. Living in a house makes Bournemouth feel like a home, whereas when I lived in a dorm, the flat that I lived in felt, as much as I loved it, I absolutely loved my first year flat, it felt like a place that I was staying to get my degree rather than a home. Whereas our house now, I will like, it's like my second home, like my home away from home. So I much prefer a house setting because it's so much easier to just like settle in, and like it really does feel like somewhere you're living. I feel like living in a house gives you a lot more independence. Obviously being in a house means that you have to get your bills sorted. Some houses do have bills included in the rent and it's all kind of sorted for you, but with our house we have to sort out our own bills. So we have to do gas, water and electric, which it's fine. I don't really know much of what's going on. I'm very lucky. Some of my housemates are very savvy with all of that, so they kind of deal with it and I just hand over the money. But I have learned a lot through them about it. Things like that definitely like help you feel more independent, as well as like getting to know your new neighbourhood. So in Bournemouth, you have Lansdowne, Charminster and Winton. which are kind of like the three towns that kind of make up the Bournemouth area, where all the students live, and each of them have their own little high street, so you've got your own shops that you can get to know, your own area that you get to know. And then also, like, if you're living in a house, you will likely be taking the bus from a different bus stop than you would in your first year if you chose to live in halls. So I had to go and find my new bus stop and learn the bus timetables and stuff like that. So all of that I feel like gives you a sense of independence and helps you get to know the area a lot more. Housework is also so much more convenient. I feel like in a house, in halls, if you wanted to hoover your room, you had to go down and book out the hoover. And if you wanted to do your laundry, you had to make sure that the laundry room was free and like there was a machine free for you to use. And also there wasn't any dishwashers in halls, you had to wash everything by hand. Whereas now in our house, if I want to get the hoover and hoover my room, it's literally downstairs or out on the landing. If I want to wash my clothes, it's likely that the machine is free, and we're very lucky in our student house we have a dishwasher, so it means that the dishes don't really pile up because everything just gets shoved in the dishwasher, and it's just so convenient. It's so nice. So that's the convenient aspect of living in a house. You don't have to share as much, but you do have to do all your bills and stuff, but you're gonna have to do that anyway when you leave uni, so I feel like it's good practice. And the final thing that I absolutely love about being in a house is the fact that we have a garden and we have a driveway. So I don't drive, but my housemates do, and so that means they've brought all of their cars down, and so we can go out on day trips. So we've been to like Durdle Door, we went pumpkin picking last year, we've done so much. It's so nice, and you really get to know the area so much better because you're driving around and exploring. And then in the summer, having a garden is so nice, because you can sit out and read a book, or like we've got football in our garden, so we'll go out and play with that. And like if you're having house parties, you can let it spill into the garden. Like it's just so nice. Like I loved living in a flat, but having a garden is just really, like, we do like barbecues and stuff out there as well, so I really like that. And again, like I said, it definitely makes it feel more homey. Much as I loved living in my dorm in first year, absolutely obsessed with living in a house, and we loved our house so much that we decided to keep it for another year. So that is also an option, that you can, if you find one that you really want to keep, you can stay for a second year. Yeah, that's my opinion, my advice on living in halls versus living in a house. Again, completely up to you, personal preference. It all depends on what you want to do and where you want to live, and the kind of vibe you're going for and the amount of conveniency that you're looking for. But for me, I found living in a house was the perfect fit. Hopefully my advice was useful. If you've got any questions about getting a house, any of the student accommodations, whatever, leave it in the comment section below and I'll try my best to answer them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!